Hello, I'm Bambii. I draw, rig, and sell assets for VTubers. This is a tutorial to set up a cursor-tracked rigged drawing tablet. So if you are setting up one of the drawing tablets that I made, you should have received 3 files along with your purchase. The first one is going to be a setup PDF that you can also follow along with. It has all the same information I'm going to give you here. And you'll also have 2 different folders, one of them containing the rigged arm model, and the other one containing the rigged tablet model. So because this drawing tablet actually has rigging in it, it has customization and physics and that kind of thing, to get the best use out of it, you'll import both the arm and the tablet separately into vtube Studio. We're going to set them both up as models, get all of that customization and all of the rigging working well, and then we'll be layering them up as objects and attaching them to your model. The reason for this is because the elbow of the drawing arm is going to actually pin to your model's elbow, which means that as your model is moving left and right, the arm is going to stay attached and move very naturally, whereas the tablet is going to stay stationary, sitting on a desk or something like that. Okay, let's get started. So first we're going to load in the arm as a model. So open up vtube Studio and you're going to go and click on the model menu on vtube Studio. That's this little person right here, and then just click on import your own model. You're going to get a prompt, and you can use this prompt if you just click open folder to locate the folder on your computer where vtube Studio stores all of its model files. And then go to the file that you got that has your tablet in it. Click on the rigged arm, the entire file, so don't open up that file but just take the entire thing, and you're going to copy and paste that into the folder that you opened up using vtube Studio. Back in vtube Studio, you can just click the OK on that prompt to get rid of it. Now back in the model menu over here, we're going to go ahead and click on unload model. That's basically going to reset all of your files, and it's going to load in anything new that has been added to the model folder. That new asset should be loaded into the menu down here. So I'm just going to scroll over until I see it. It basically just begins with public drawing here, and then that file name is finished, public drawing tablet arm only, something along those lines. I'm going to go ahead and just click on that, and the arm should load in. On this prompt here, just go ahead and click Auto Setup. You may get a prompt saying that there aren't any parameters and that it can't run Auto Setup. That's totally fine, but sometimes there are a few parameters that will just create some of the automatically playing animations or some of the automatic rigging, so just go ahead and click OK for that. Okay, now we're going to set up the cursor tracking parameters. Anytime you want to open up the menu, you can just double click on the screen anywhere and it will pop up this menu on the left. You can also get rid of it by clicking on the X right there. So click on the pink gear to get to the settings, and we're going to choose this little person with the gear up at the top so we can edit the model settings. The first thing to do is check for any idle animations. That's just right at the top of the model settings menu. Click idle animation right here, and if there are any animations attached to the file, they'll just show up right here. There aren't any for this one, so I'm just going to click little dash and then select. Now we're going to set up some new parameters. So we'll scroll to the bottom of the menu here and click on the plus button to create a new card. I'll name this Draw X. For input, we're going to find mouse position X. There it is right there, and click select. For output, we're going to find our Draw X parameter and click select. Now, as you can see, it should be moving left and right. And you can see this model has a little bit of physics on the pen, so that should be all set up and working properly. We're going to do the same thing for Draw Y. Name this Draw Y. The input will be mouse position Y. There it is. And the output is going to be Draw Y. Now it goes up and down as well, and our cursor tracking is all set up. So let's set up some customization. We'll go up to this little clapboard here to bring up the Expressions Editor menu, and we'll click on Expressions Editor. Create New Expression, select. I'll just name this Customization. And you can see here, right at the top, are going to be all of the different toggles that you have access to for customization. It'll basically go down to Draw X and Y. Anything below Draw X and Y is not a part of the customization, but everything above is. For all of my drawing tablets, the skin tone, nail length, and nail color will always be customizable. The other ones are specific to the pen, but usually the color and maybe some other features as well. You can go ahead and change these settings to whatever you'd like with the sliders right here. There will actually be an opportunity to further adjust the color at a later step, but for now, just set it up however you'd like. This one has the option to remove some of the features as well. I want to match this to a Catgirl public model that I have, so I'm just going to choose these settings. Whenever you have what you'd like set up, just click Save. Now click Create New Hotkeys for all unused expressions and select. Click OK. And now you can set up a hotkey to trigger that customization that you set up. Underneath key combination down here, just click record, and then I'm just going to click C for customization. Now whenever I click C, those customization features should come in. Alright, this next step is very, very important. I'm going to X out of the expression editor menu, and I'm going to go back to the model settings menu over here with the little person in the gear. Up at the top of this menu here, you're going to toggle Save Active Expressions. Make sure that you've hit your hotkey and your customization is active. So this should be the version that you're wanting to save, and then toggle Save Active Expressions with that customization on. Anytime that you want to edit your customization, by the way, you can just go back into the expressions editor over here, click on that customization expression that you made, select it, and you can edit it however you'd like to. But just make sure that that new customization that you set up is active, and then that you click Save Active Expressions with it there. Alright, so our hand is all set up as a model, so let's make it into an object. So with your arm loaded in, your customization active, and your Save Active Expressions toggled on, just go over to this menu on the left again, and we'll click on this little green star right here to bring up our item settings. Click Load Current Model as Live 2D Item and select. Click OK. This prompt here is going to tell you how to flip and rotate. So this might be relevant if you wanted to make like a left-handed model or something like that, so you can check that out. Otherwise, just click OK. So we're just going to leave these settings as they are and click Save. This is going to ask you if you want to further customize the colors. If you'd like to, you can do that here, but there's also going to be an opportunity to further customize later when you're actually setting it up with your model. And usually I wait until that step because one of the things that I'm trying to do is usually to match the skin color. So it might be good to see the two together, your model and the item that you've just created. So I'm actually going to click no here, but don't worry, you can still adjust the colors later if you'd like to. So of these two that I have here, one of them is actually an object now and one is a model. I wonder if I can pin it. Yeah, again. So now this item that is your drawing hand can be found over in the item menu. So if you just sort of scroll down, there it is. I have a lot of public drawing tablets because I always test them, so it's a little bit hard to see, but yours will look something like this. This is basically the one that we just created right here. Anytime that you want to load in the object, you can just select it from this menu here and then click select. Mine is a little bit confusing. So we're going to follow the same steps as we followed for the arm to get the tablet loaded in. I'll click import your own model and then open folder to access that folder again. This time, copy and paste the entire file that says tablet on it. And go ahead and copy and paste that once again into the file that came up when you clicked open folder in VTube Studio. Once that's copy and pasted in there, I'll click OK to close this prompt, go back to my menu settings and unload model to reload everything. Now my public drawing tablet should be in here. So go ahead and click on that and we'll run auto setup once again, click OK. For a lot of the tablets, the auto setup will be more important because I often will rig animation to the breathing parameter. So that's something that's just going to automatically trigger. You don't need to set up any parameters for that, and you can see that actually this tablet is already moving. Once again, we'll go back to our model settings menu and we're going to check for idle animations. There aren't any on this one, but they would be in here, so just select if there are any and then click select. The tablet doesn't really have any cursor tracking or any rigged parameters like that, so we'll just go straight to customization. Back to the expression editor, we'll click create new expression and select, name this customization. And again, you can see all of the toggles here that are your customization options, not including breathing. That's the parameter that the animation is set up on. For this one, you can completely get rid of the tablet if you'd like to, or make it a lower opacity. You also can change the color of the tablet. I'm going to make mine really dark. And for this one, you can get rid of certain elements as well, and everything can be mixed and matched. Once you have it set up how you'd like, just click Save, and then create new hotkeys for all unused expressions, select OK. Again, I'm just going to click record and then C, just for customization, and now every time I click C, the customization that I chose should pop up, so we have this dark version. Once again, I'll go back to the model settings menu, and up at the top here, with the customization active, so that I've toggled that on, I'm going to click Save Active Expressions right here. So that's all set up with the customization and the animation working, so let's make it into an object. Click on this little green star to pull up the item settings, and load current model as live 2D item, and click select. Click OK. And again, here's our little movement instructions, click OK. I'll just click save here. And for this one, again, if you'd like to, you can further customize the colors at this stage, but I'm just going to click no for this. And there we go. Now we have two of them. This one is an object and this one is my model. So I'm going to get rid of this item by just dragging it down to the little trash can and releasing. and let's get everything all combined. So go ahead and load in whatever model you'd like to use. This one is a public model that I have available. She's not completely finished, kind of still a work in progress, but I'm just going to use her to get everything all set up. So click on the little green star to open up the item settings menu and scroll down to find the arm first. So here it is, public drawing tablet arm only celestial. I'm going to go ahead and click select. So when this little menu pops up here, I'm going to make sure that pin item to live 2D model is toggled on. That's really important. The other thing that's really important, before you leave this menu here, go ahead and click on configure/fine-tune live 2D item if you want to change the colors. Click OK for this little prompt here. So now that this is in here, I can actually see it against the model that I'm trying to match a little bit better, and I'm going to be trying to match the skin tone a bit better as well, and also match the size and get everything all looking nice. Usually when I'm setting up the scale, I'll compare the hand of the model to the size of the hand on the drawing tablet or on whatever asset I'm using, and just try and get it to look like it matches your model pretty well. Like if she were to swing her forearm down, this hand would be about the same size and the form would be about the same length as what it is on her model here. Also, when you're pinning the item to your model, it's actually really important where on the object you click. So you want to make sure that you click basically at the point that you want to be pinned onto the elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm clicking sort of right here, right in kind of the middle, like where the joint would be of the elbow. I'm just going to click that, hold it, and then drag this and line it up with her elbow right here. So make sure that she's standing up nice and straight, and once it's nice and lined up, release, and that should now be pinned. So as she's moving back and forth, the elbow should be sort of tracking, and you can kind of like adjust this so that it is hiding as much of the elbow as you want to. I'm not going to change anything on this menu here. I'm just going to click save. And then now, here's where we're actually going to customize our colors. So when this little prompt comes up here, this time I'm going to click yes. You can click OK here, it's your asset. I'm totally fine with you changing the colors however you like. So now as you move your cursor over the item here, different elements are going to basically highlight in red, and then you'll have the opportunity to change the colors of each of these. When I click on the form here, it brings up this little toggle right here. I'll turn that on, and then now I have the opportunity to actually change the color here. So the multiply is going to put an overlay over the art that's actually going to make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to overshoot and just try and match the color a little bit more, and I'll be able to kind of like lighten it back up later. Hopefully that will work. I think that might be good. We'll have the opportunity to mess with it more if we want to, so I'll just click OK. And once you click OK on the multiply, it's going to bring up screen. This is basically where we can make the color lighter. I think the best way to get a feel for these are just to mess around with them and try and find what works best for you. So when you have it the way that you'd like it, just click OK. So I'm going to choose another item here. I'll do the hand, toggle that on, and then you can actually do paste last multiply color and then click OK, and paste last screen color and then click OK if you want to get everything to match. So I'm just going to go through each piece of art that corresponds to the skin tone, and I'm going to paste each multiply color and each screen color and get them all to match. Okay, so I think that's all the skin tone that I want to change. You can basically adjust the colors on absolutely every aspect of this artwork. So anything that I have separate in the file, so the highlight color, the clouds, the moon, the line art for the moon, the shine, like everything. Customize it as much as you'd like to, and then go ahead and click OK whenever you're all done. Make sure that you're totally happy with what you have before you click OK, because again, it's kind of a pain to get back to that menu if you need to. Great, so our arm should be matching really nicely, and as our model moves, it should be moving along with her as well, and it should be following my cursor tracking at the same time as well. Now we're going to load in the tablet the same way that we got the arm loaded in. So I'm just going to go back to my item settings menu up here. I'm going to scroll down to where the tablet is. Public drawing tablet, tablet celestial. I'll click select. Now when this menu pops up, it's really important for the tablet, we're actually not going to pin it to the model. It's going to be stationary, so just go ahead and untoggle that. If you'd like to further fine-tune the colors, once again you can do that here by clicking on the little configure and fine-tune live 2D item down at the bottom, but I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to click OK. Here are my instructions on how to scale and rotate it and everything. I'll just click OK to move through that. And now you have your little tablet here. So this one is not going to pin, so it's not really as important how you drag it around or where you grab it, but basically just set it up, place it wherever you'd like to. Usually I try and reach the extremes of my cursor tracking to make sure that the pen is not going off of the tablet anywhere. Try moving your model left and right to find all of the extremes, and make sure that your pen is not leaving the tablet anywhere that you go. You can scale the tablet a little bit as well. Okay, I think in general this is working pretty well for me. I would err on the side of placing the tablet a little bit higher than you would maybe think. I'm going to be placing my model when I'm setting up my actual scene in OBS so that it's cut off at the bottom of where the tablet is, and I want that to actually rest above where the elbow is of the drawing arm. Once again, that's just because there's kind of a weird connection down here. I don't want the arm of my model underneath to be visible at any point, so you just sort of want to err on the side of placing the model lower on the screen than you would think, cutting it off more like mid-chest or even like bust rather than at the waist. And that's everything, you're all set up. Your physics are active, your customization is all there, and everything should be working really nicely. You can check out my store on Etsy for lots of other assets. You can always commission me on VGen as well for something custom.